Prado talk just continues and continues, and this point there is a rumor that may not be as much of a rumor as it sounds. We're here at Ironman Raceway. Hey, I'm Michael Lindsay from Vital MX, and yeah, if you're checking out social media right now, you may have already seen a little bit of a hint about a potential team change being rumored for Jorge Prado. If you check out our podcast, any of our post-race info, this actually leads back to kind of a joke I made a couple weeks ago after Washougal. Well, myself and Lewis Phillips were talking about Prado's situation. I made a comment about, hey, you know, KTM technically has a bike available next year. What if they could just work out how to get him out of a contract and put him on the bike? Maybe throw him bonus only. Who knows? You know, he still has gear deals. After that comment, I kind of thought about it and thought, well, you know, this could make sense. So after reaching out to a few people hitting into the break, it sounded like there was actually a potential that this had been considered. Now coming into Ironman, there was more and more talk about it starting to float around the industry, especially yesterday on Friday with a couple different team managers from our teams mentioning it to me in passing that they had heard that it was moving forward. So in the case, we've reached out to both Kawasaki and KTM in different forms and different people, and while nothing is official on record, etc., what we have basically been told is, yes, this is in consideration from KTM's end. It does sound like there is interest, but however, they can't do anything unless Jorge Prado can legally get out of his Monster Energy Kawasaki contract. And in speaking to the Monster Energy Kawasaki team, they confirmed that no, Jorge Prado has not asked about getting out, but they have heard this from multiple people so far. Their official stance is that they have a 3-year contract with said rider, and at the moment they do not plan on releasing him. But again, from their end, it does not sound like the conversation has been engaged from an official standpoint, but the people we talked to there are aware that this is being passed around or that this conversation is in some way, shape, or form happening. So it's really awkward because a lot of riders have verbiage in their contracts where they're not allowed to either negotiate or have official talks inside of contracts. Teams, of course, have different first rights of refusals. However, teams also have the ability to nullify contracts based on the way riders talk about equipment, the way that riders represent the brand, which Jorge Prado could fall into. So at the moment, from what we can understand, Jorge Prado would not be able to enact his way out outside of buying his way out of his contract, is what it sounds like. However, if push came to shove, the team could probably release him at this point if they wanted to. Again, a lot of things would have to happen. As one person told me yesterday, it's very easy for a rider to say that they're willing to bail on a team and ride for bonus only, ride for free, but it's a whole nother thing to get that rider put pen to paper and make it happen. So hopefully that clears it up a little bit. If this continues to move forward, this rumor may spread and get twisted along the way, and there's a lot that still would have to happen for this to become true. But if anybody comes across this information, that's sort of the gist of how it's coming to light. Again, neither party will officially talk about it, but there's enough people around each party that will talk about it that, again, the old saying, where there is smoke, there is fire. And there is a decent amount of smoke around this situation, and it seems to be building at the moment. As always, if you like our content, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Check out more at vitalmx.com.